Shin and Dam are at the cafe they often visit. They talk after having an argument, and Dam feels her heart race when Shin quotes a line from a book. Still feeling the pounding in her heart, Dam tells her friends about it and finds it strange.
나를 좋아하게 된 것 같은데?
네 친구 얘기라면서 네가 어떻게 확신해?
Back in her room after the cafe, Dam keeps feeling confused, changes clothes, and goes out just to watch TV. Dam watches a drama and repeats the lines spoken in it. She feels that her heart racing might really be because she likes the book, quote, and the flutter feels the same as what she experienced before. When Shin suddenly appears, Dam feels embarrassed, avoids him, and goes back to her room. The next day at campus, Dam is still deep in thought during lunch, confused about what she is feeling. Dam then beams with joy when she receives an SMS from Shin, saying he will pick her up since he happens to pass by her campus. Happily, Dam agrees right away and waits for him on the sidewalk in front of campus. Elsewhere, Jae-jin is shocked to find Hee-sun sitting on the hood of his car, which leads to them driving together as Jae-jin gives her a ride. On the way, Jae-jin's car suddenly breaks down and they have to call a tow truck. While in the tow truck, Jae-jin calls Dam and feels unlucky. Meanwhile, Dam, who is eating noodles with Shin by the Han River, is puzzled and mentions it to Shin. Dam also says that Hye-sun is very beautiful and many men on campus are crazy about her. Shin immediately denies it, saying that Hye-sun is not pretty at all and that Dam is much more beautiful. Without realizing it, Dam smiles widely at Shin's words. After eating noodles, Dam and Shin walk to another spot to enjoy the air and the view. On the way, Dam asks Shin if he would be interested in using an online messaging app. Since she doesn't use SMS, Shin agrees, and Dam happily installs the app for him. She also asks Shin to take a photo for his profile picture on the app, cheerfully urging him to pose. Still looking stiff, Dam guides Shin to smile more broadly and strike a pose. But instead of posing, Shin becomes mesmerized by Dam's smile and unconsciously freezes, staring without blinking.
아무것도 아닌 잠시 머물다 흘려.
After finishing Shin's photo, Dam also asks him to take her picture. Again and again, Shin just stays silent, thinking Dam's smile is so beautiful. The next morning at campus, Shin-woo, about to go down the stairs, accidentally sees Dam smiling at her phone. Seeing this, Shin-woo smiles too and follows her from behind. While Dam is busy texting Shin, she almost bumps into someone, but Shin-woo pulls her hoodie to stop her. Meanwhile, Jae-jin sulks and ignores Dam. Even when she offers him a drink, he flatly refuses. In class, he even chooses to sit away from her. After class, Dam keeps trying to talk to Jae-jin, but again he refuses. Back in her room after campus, she still tries to text Jae-jin and ends up shouting in frustration because he keeps avoiding her. Shin, hearing her shout, is startled and then sees Dam come out angrily, which surprises him even more. Dam goes to the fridge, grabs a glass of ice cubes and water, drinks it, and chomps the ice cubes furiously. Dam only calms down after Shin approaches her. Shin then invites her to drink together. Shin tells her not to drink too much, but for Dam, once she starts with soju, she wants to drink up to her limit of 7 bottles. Shin is surprised by Dam's drinking, as she really can't be stopped and her behavior is truly funny. She can laugh loudly, then get annoyed, then angry, then sad, over and over again, until Shin can't help but smile. Still dizzy the next morning, Dam wakes up shocked to find herself in her room. She immediately recalls what happened while drinking yesterday, remembering everything she said, and is horrified that she blurted out inappropriate things while laughing loudly. Dam feels so embarrassed to face Shin that she crawls on the floor to avoid being noticed. Just as she reaches the front door, she is startled to find Shin already standing there. Shin says he has prepared something Dam really likes. Dam is stunned to see that Shin made steamed eggs, thinking it's her favorite dish. The next day on campus, Jae-jin furiously looks for Shin-woo and ends up hitting him. Their friends quickly break up the fight, and Jae-jin yells angrily that Shin-woo used Dam as a bet. Passing by chance, Dam asks what's going on and why it involves her, then walks away pretending she heard nothing. Feeling down, Dam goes home, thinking she is a burden to Shin. She doesn't dare enter his house and just sits blankly on the stairs, not knowing what to do about him. Meanwhile, inside the house, Shin grows worried since it's already past 10 p.m. and Dam hasn't come home. He rushes out and finds Dam sitting weakly on the stairs. Confused about why she is outside instead of inside, Shin asks. Dam says she arrived at 10 sharp and isn't late. Seeing her, Shin immediately takes off his cardigan and wraps it around Dam. She explains her confusion and tells Shin that he is very special to her. Hearing Dam's words, Shin is taken aback, looks at her, and unconsciously says that to him. Dam is also very special. Dam wakes up and prepares to go to campus with a sulky face. She meets Shin, who is smiling at her while holding a cup of coffee. Shin gives it to Dam, and Dam accepts it while calling him uncle. Shin is puzzled as to why Dam seems upset and even calls him uncle. Meanwhile, at campus, Dam still looks sulky and has no appetite. After returning from campus, Dam dresses up beautifully and steps out of her room neatly prepared. Shin cannot blink as he sees Dam looking gorgeous. Dam walks up to Shin and says she will be home late. Shin only stares at her silently, then averts his gaze. Dam waits outside for Jae-jin, who asked to meet her earlier. However, Jae-jin is not alone, but with Hee-sun. Jae-jin tells Hee-sun that Dam still needs lots of practice in charming men. They go to a cafe and chat. After asking several questions, Hee-sun concludes that Dam really has no hope night falls, and Dam meets her blind date arranged by Jae-jin. The man talks endlessly, making Dam smile awkwardly. He even brags about himself, which bores Dam until she yawns. Meanwhile, Shin, who is working at the cafe, feels uneasy while staring at his phone. He worries because Dam hasn't contacted him. Shin tries to type a message but deletes it again. Before he can finish, a waiter accidentally bumps into him, causing the message to be sent unintentionally. Shin is shocked and flustered because the message cannot be deleted. Meanwhile, Dam, who receives the message on her way to a cafe, decides to call Shin and tells him that her date is going really well. Dam then turns off her phone and walks to the cafe entrance. She pauses in shock when she sees her blind date sitting right next to Shin. Reluctantly, Dam sits down and pretends not to know Shin. Her blind date shocks Dam again by asking her for coffee coupons while belittling her GPA of only 3.5. Dam tries to hide her embarrassment as he says it loudly. After that, Dam's blind date leaves her. Shin, who has been holding back his irritation, uses his magic to make the man trip and fall, drawing laughter from the cafe customers. After the incident, Dam walks with Shin and starts talking. Shin invites her to see a museum using his magic. At the museum, Dam feels delighted to explore the exhibits. She then hides with Shin as they nearly get caught by security. They use Shin's magic to return home. The next day at campus, Dam accidentally runs into Shin-woo. He asks her not to avoid him, but Dam says she cannot help being angry with him. Dam then goes to eat with Jae-jin and a friend. During the meal, she gets a call from her mother asking for her address. She sends it without thinking much and continues eating. Later, Dam receives a call from her younger sibling and learns that her mother is in Korea.
누나한테 왜 이런 얘기 안 해?
Meanwhile, Shin, thinking Dam has already returned home, is startled to see Dam's mother suddenly show up. Shin lets Dam's mother sit in the living room and is puzzled by her questions. Soon after, Dam rushes home. In the living room, both Dam and Shin answer the mother's questions, but with conflicting answers. Dam asks Shin to use his magic to make her mother disappear, but instead of working, his magic has no effect on her. Dam is bewildered and doesn't know what to do. Not long after, her mother excuses herself to leave. Dam sees her mother off, and Shin offers to take Dam to the airport to send her off properly. At the airport, Dam and her sibling meet their mother, joking and hugging warmly. Watching from a distance, Shin feels sad. He wonders if he deserves to stay by Dam's side when she already has such a loving family. On the way back, Dam thanks Shin for accompanying her. Shin asks if she feels sad, and Dam replies that this is what family feels like, and she feels safe when thinking of them. From her explanation, Shin starts to understand the meaning of family. Dam tells Shin that he has her. She explains that she is family to him. Dam wants to be someone Shin can consider as family, someone who always supports him and makes him feel safe by her side. She also hopes that when Shin's marble is finally released, they will still remain as family. Shin looks out the window and recalls his past life during the Joseon era. He remembers every swing of his sword killing rebels, until finally, he saved the life of a girl. He thinks about his actions, giving things away as acts of kindness and kissing without meaning. Shin believes those were just ordinary things he did, nothing special. As he sees the girl slowly fall ill, Shin feels he should have been able to save her. He could have taken back his marble and pretended nothing happened. Shin feels he could have kissed the girl to erase all her memories of him, but he wasn't ready, because he had already fallen in love with her. Day by day, the girl's condition worsened, and she gradually grew weaker. Shin tried to kiss her, crying as he said he would become just like a dream. But the girl told him she knew who Shin really was and remained silent. She also said that Shin was doing it because he still wanted to be with her. Shin shed more tears and kissed her. Unfortunately, she died and was not healed by his kiss. Shin cried bitterly knowing this. Lost in thought about his past, Shin begins to wonder if he deserves to stay by Dam's side and hope for her love. He keeps thinking until he is startled when Dam comes and greets him. Dam greets Shin, who is standing in front of the window with a cup of coffee, smiling as usual. Dam smiles as she sees Shin already awake in the morning. She greets him while Shin silently looks at her. Shin then invites Dam to have coffee after campus, and Dam agrees with a bright smile. At her campus, Dam is in class and runs into Jae-jin, who is scouting several cafes for dating spots. Seeing this, Dam sends the information to Shin as a new cafe worth visiting. After seeing Dam's message, Shin hurries to get ready to leave. Passing through the living room, he accidentally sees the news of a brutal murder. The perpetrator wasn't even captured on CCTV. As Shin turns off the TV, he receives a call saying one of his employees was among the victims. Shin immediately goes to the police station and uses his magic to disguise himself as an officer in order to obtain the investigation results. Looking at all the victim photos, Shin realizes that every victim was a woman who had interacted with him and shown interest in him. Meanwhile, Dam sits in a cafe seat waiting for Shin to arrive. She occasionally checks the time on her phone and sighs in boredom. She's startled when Shin suddenly appears behind her, making her instantly smile as she calls his name. Shin holds Dam's shoulders and looks deeply into her eyes. He senses something strange around them and asks Dam to always stay by his side. The next morning, as Dam is about to leave for campus, Shin is already prepared and offers to take her. Dam is surprised, but Shin explains that they're headed in the same direction, making Dam smile happily. Throughout the ride, Dam keeps smiling while occasionally glancing at Shin driving. Once at campus, Dam feels uneasy because Hee-sun keeps staring at her, even following her and watching her every move. Meanwhile, Shin suddenly receives a call from Dam. On the line, Dam sounds panicked, saying she feels her condition is critical. When Shin asks what's happening, Dam explains that her midterm exam is soon and she plans to stop by the bookstore. Shin follows Dam to the bookstore and sees her standing as if facing someone. Startled, Dam explains she was talking to a man who suddenly disappeared. Shin immediately asks what the man looked like. Hearing that, Dam asks Shin why. Shin replies that he is worried about her. Dam pauses, then smiles brightly upon hearing Shin's concern. The next day, when given an assignment, Dam asks Shin about it. Shin takes her to an underground storage room, where he thoroughly explains the matter that had confused her. Dam listens eagerly and says she wants to invite Shin on a trip after finishing her exams. Hearing this, Shin falls silent, prompting Dam to ask if he minds. Shin shakes his head, saying he was only silent because no one had ever invited him on a trip before. He smiles and agrees. Overjoyed, Dam asks for a pinky promise. Shin links pinkies with her, smiling as he looks at her. Feeling flustered, Dam quickly releases their hands and borrows a book authored by Shin during the Joseon era. She takes it to her room to study and opens it randomly. By chance, Dam comes across a painting of a beautiful girl. She reads the note beneath it but is confused by its meaning. She goes to Shin and asks what the metaphorical sentence means. Dam shows him the girl's painting and asks if she was Shin's first love. Shin falls silent, then says perhaps she was. Dam immediately grows gloomy, dropping the book and painting. She picks them up and goes back to her room in silence. The next day, Dam remains gloomy even when she meets Shin. At campus too, her sadness shows. From afar, a mountain spirit watches Dam walking dejectedly. Shin immediately approaches the spirit and asks why it is watching Dam. The mountain spirit explains that the murder case is targeting the marble inside Dam, and its duty to guard her is finished. It tells Shin he must protect Dam and her marble well, reminding him that her time is running short. Dam then meets Shin and invites him to go home together. By chance, she sees a woman resembling the girl in Shin's painting, and urges Shin to return home. Shin refuses and tells her to go ahead first. Hearing this, Dam lets go of his hand and walks away with her head bowed sadly. At home, Shin tries to ensure Dam is truly safe. Eventually, Dam asks him to stay by her side while she studies. She studies in the living room with him, but struggles to focus because Shin keeps watching her. The next day, Dam whines after taking her exam, feeling she didn't do well. She decides to study at the library instead, telling Shin she won't be home and will study with her friend there. Hearing this, Shin grows anxious and rushes to Dam's campus. He then receives a call saying that his deceased employee had given testimony, that the killer's face looked very familiar, resembling Shin. Realizing this, Shin immediately uses his magic to storm in and strangles the murderer, dragging him away in an instant before Dam's eyes. Meanwhile, Dam, still in the library, grows anxious because Shin suddenly disappeared. After finishing her exam, Dam happily tells Shin. Hearing this, Shin immediately invites her to go on a trip. Talking with him over the phone, Dam beams with joy when she sees Shin coming to pick her up. Dam rushes towards Shin and stumbles in her haste, falling into his arms. She stands again, smiling at him. They then board a bus to their destination. There, they spend time stacking stones and making wishes. Amidst the romantic moment, Dam faces Shin in silence, gazing at him. Shin apologizes, admitting he has been lying. He knows how to take out her marble. Hearing this, Dam's eyes begin to well with tears. Shin then says their contract is over, and that he will erase Dam's memories. As if in a dream, he kisses her. Dam kisses Shin back with tears streaming down her face, and the marble finally comes out of her. Dam is fast asleep in her room while her younger sibling struggles to wake her up. Half awake with her eyes barely open, Dam walks while eating the steamed eggs made by her sibling. Upon arriving at campus, Dam walks across the yard toward her department. Along the way, she sobs, still haunted by everything that happened between her and Shin. Crying, she mutters to herself, wondering why Shin didn't erase their memories as he said he would. Meanwhile, Jae-jin, walking into class, is suddenly captivated by Hee-sun sitting by the window with sunlight shining on her. Jae-jin stares at her without blinking until their eyes meet. Jae-jin then brings up their dating assignment, which they still have to complete once more. Hye-sun asks if they could just submit it without actually going on another date. Jae-jin replies that it might be possible if they did it through their mouths. Hearing this, Hye-sun suddenly stands and tries to kiss him. Shocked by her action, Jae-jin quickly grabs her head and turns it aside, still holding on. Surprised by his reaction, Hye-sun groans in pain, and Jae-jin immediately lets go. Meanwhile, back in the campus yard, Dam crouches down, hugging her knees while sobbing. Seon-woo approaches her and asks what happened, what made her cry. But Dam keeps weeping without giving any answer. Seon-woo then takes Dam to sit on a park bench, staying by her side until she finishes crying. Strangely, while waiting, he feels a certain happiness just being there with her. After class, Dam leaves her department building and accidentally spots someone who looks almost like Shin. Shaking her head, she tries to erase Shin from her mind and instead invites Jae-jin and Soo-kyung to eat chicken together. Dam immediately orders a large amount of chicken and eats it heartily. Jae-jin and Soo-kyung are puzzled, since this isn't like her usual self. Meanwhile, Dam keeps devouring the food with a smile, even ordering more soju. Afterward, Dam takes Jae-jin and Soo-kyung to karaoke. She sings joyfully with Soo-kyung, while Jae-jin records them, laughing. After several songs, Soo-kyung sits down, leaving Dam to continue singing. She chooses a song that Shin once sang. After karaoke, Dam heads home feeling sad as Shin's memories flood her mind. Without realizing, her steps take her to Shin's house, where she mutters to herself, wondering why she ended up there. The next morning, Dam has cow blood soup prepared by her sibling. She frowns at the dish in front of her and immediately tells her sibling that she doesn't want to have this soup for breakfast anymore. Her sibling tries to take away the soup, but Dam stops them. She still wants to eat it this time, only reminding them not to make it again in the future. Meanwhile, Seon-woo is drafting a message for Dam but hesitates and tries to delete it. Just as he's about to erase it, his younger sibling snatches his phone and sends the message instead. While still eating breakfast, Dam reads the message but doesn't reply. Mischievously, her sibling grabs her phone and responds sweetly to Seon-woo. Receiving such a warm reply, Seon-woo rushes to his sibling's room to ask what the message really means. Hours later, Dam is walking toward her department. Suddenly, heavy rain falls despite the bright sky. She starts to run, shielding her head with her hands, until someone covers her with an umbrella. It's Shin. Dam looks at Shin with sad eyes, trying to process what she's seeing. After walking a few steps with him, she chooses to leave. Shin tries to stop her and offers his umbrella, but Dam harshly refuses. She runs instead to join Soo-kyung, who also has an umbrella. Walking with Soo-kyung toward her class, Dam finds Jae-jin waiting outside. He admits he's confused because his ex has come back to him. Hearing that, Dam and Soo-kyung roll their eyes and head straight into the classroom. Inside the classroom, Dam is puzzled to see many female students, who usually never attend, now filling the front seats. They whisper excitedly about a new substitute professor since their usual one is sick. When the substitute professor enters, Dam is shocked. It's Shin. She keeps staring at him with sorrow, wondering what his true purpose is in teaching at her campus. Has he already become human, or what? After class, Dam goes to lunch with Jae-jin. Suddenly, his ex shows up and asks him to come with her. Dam rolls her eyes in disgust and urges him to just leave Jinna. But Jae-jin, unable to refuse, follows his ex anyway. After Jae-jin leaves, Dam accidentally spots Shin walking away from her. She quietly watches him until her phone rings. It's her senior, inviting her to attend a gathering. Meanwhile, at a cafe, Jae-jin sits silently with Jinna, who keeps trying to persuade him to get back together. Jae-jin responds that they shouldn't even be meeting anymore. Jinna then confesses, admitting she had been cheating on him all along. Jinna even insults Dam for always being with Jae-jin. Just then, Hee-sun passes by gracefully and greets Jae-jin. Seeing her, Jinna immediately asks who she is. Hee-sun responds sharply, saying Jinna might not really know who she is. Meanwhile, in his office, Shin keeps staring at Dam's profile picture, reminiscing about their memories together. At the gathering, Dam attends with a sulky face, puzzled by how Shin appears calm, as if nothing had ever happened between them. After the event ends, Dam quickly heads out. About to enter the elevator, she is startled to see both Seon-woo and Shin inside. Hesitantly, she steps in and stays silent. Suddenly, the elevator halts, making Dam nearly fall. Both Shin and Seon-woo catch her hands at once. Realizing this, Dam quickly pulls her hand away from Shin and thanks Seon-woo instead.
너 오늘도 표정이 별로.
Later, she drinks again with Jae-jin after meeting his ex. As usual, Jae-jin ends up running while drunk. Suddenly, he crashes into a car, breaking its side mirror. Dam rushes to Jae-jin, trying to wake him up. Hee-sun comes out and asks what happened. Dam apologizes for breaking the car's mirror. Suddenly, Shin steps out of the same car, and Dam's expression immediately changes. Struggling to support Jae-jin, Dam refuses Shin's attempt to help. She walks away with Jae-jin, trying to hail a taxi. As Jae-jin stumbles into the cab, Dam nearly falls from being jostled, but Shin swiftly catches her. Their eyes meet, and Dam falls silent for a moment. Dam gazes at Shin, who has just saved her from falling backward. They stare at each other in silence, both with tears in their eyes. Then Dam walks away, leaving Shin behind, who watches her retreating figure. The next morning, Jae-jin eats the cow blood soup made by Dam's younger sibling with great appetite, praising how delicious it is. Hearing his words, Dam playfully taps his head and joins them for breakfast. On the way to his apartment building, Jae-jin is shocked to realize that the expensive car he damaged while drunk belonged to Hye-sun. Entering class, he clings to Dam, confessing that he loves her. Dam pushes him away and says she doesn't need his love. As class begins, Shin greets the students. Dam immediately turns her face away, while Shin quietly gazes at her. From afar, Seon-woo watches and wonders if Jae-jin is the one Dam likes. But in his heart, he believes he's much better than Jae-jin. Shin keeps watching Dam as she jokes and laughs occasionally with Jae-jin. In his heart, Shin tells himself he will only stay to protect her for a while, then leave so Dam can find her own happiness. When class ends, Shin watches Dam walk out of the room. Meanwhile, Jae-jin sits next to Hee-sun, surprised to hear that the car whose mirror he broke was actually discarded by her. Jae-jin then takes Hee-sun to the library, giving her a book so she can study more. He wants to atone for his mistakes by doing something good. While they're talking, Shin appears, immediately advising Jae-jin not to drink so much, and almost slips by mentioning Dam's name. Dam joins a history trip to see ancient artifacts. Hye-sun puts her bag next to Dam and asks if she can sit there. While she sits, Dam looks out the window, recalling how Hye-sun had gotten out of the same car as Shin.
출발할게. 그리고 점심.
After a lunch break, all the students, including Dam, head back to the bus. Seon-woo stops Dam and asks to talk. He assures her she doesn't need to think he's asking her out, but he also asks her not to ignore him. Jae-jin approaches and urges Dam to get on the bus. Seon-woo tries to stop him, saying that he and Dam are fine together. Jae-jin, however, still harbors anger and resentment towards Seon-woo. Dam gives a presentation about a Buddha plaque she learned from Shin. Suddenly, a bell rings and a gust of wind blows away one of her presentation papers. As she moves to pick it up, Shin has already caught it. Their eyes meet for a brief second. After the event ends, Dam keeps staring at Shin's back, wondering what he's really doing there. Why did Shin come to the event? When she sees Hee-sun get into Shin's car, her mood sinks further and she nearly cries. The bus route changes, leading the students to the place where Shin once tried to erase Dam's memories. Dam spots the wishing stones she once arranged and approaches them sadly. Seeing this, Shin realizes that Dam hasn't forgotten their memories despite the kiss. Dam walks along a lantern-lit street, recalling the moment Shin ended their contract and said he would erase their memories. She sighs, then gasps as she sees Shin standing right in front of her. Dam intends to leave, but Shin calls out to her and starts approaching. He asks if she hasn't forgotten him. Dam denies it and tries to walk away, but after a few steps, Shin asks again if she hasn't forgotten everything. Dam turns back, bombarding Shin with all the questions in her heart, crying. She also pleads, asking if he could stop touching her because it makes her heart race. Then she demands to know if she was only ever a vessel for his beard. Shin tries to explain that he wants Dam to be with someone normal, not someone like him. Dam immediately denies it, saying she doesn't care about that. She boldly confesses her feelings for Shin. Shin stares silently at Dam, remembering how she has always spoken recklessly yet bravely since the beginning. His long life had left him numb, but ever since Dam appeared, he has felt something different. Seeing Shin give no reply, Dam runs away from him. As she turns, Shin runs after her, pulling her into a tight embrace. He whispers that she won't be able to push him away after this. They hold each other tightly. Meanwhile, Hye-sun swings back and forth, feeling sad. Shin has reminded her of her own painful past. Jae-jin cheerfully tells her he was able to compensate for her loss by selling some of his clothes at a flea market. Hearing this, Hye-sun feels a little happy and starts to head inside. After a few steps, Jae-jin suddenly drapes his jacket over her shoulders to keep her warm. Meanwhile, Dam walks hand in hand with Shin, exchanging tender hand kisses and smiles before parting ways. She keeps holding his hand, reluctant to let go, gazing at him as if not ready to separate. Once in their rooms, they exchange text messages, both smiling brightly. After returning from the history trip, Dam notices someone unfamiliar in her department.
치과에 저런 사람이 있었나?
She hurries to meet Shin and soon arrives at his office. Sitting across from each other, Shin smiles at Dam, and she smiles back. Dam admits this is her first relationship and asks Shin for understanding if she requests strange things, like holding his hand. She playfully teases Shin, and he does the same. Shin then asks Dam out on a date that night. Overjoyed, Dam eagerly searches through her wardrobe, dressing up happily. Meanwhile, at his own home, Shin also struggles to choose the right outfit. They agree to meet in front of a cafe. Dam is surprised to see Shin in a casual outfit that makes him look younger. He hands her flowers, which she adores. As Dam begins to suggest where they should go, Shin confidently takes her to a place, which turns out to be a sauna. He even rolls up a towel, saying it's very popular these days. Dam asks Shin what dramas he's watched, only to find out the latest one he saw aired back in 2005. They then head to a chicken restaurant that hasn't been crowded in years. Dam doesn't mind, telling him that wherever she goes with Shin, she feels happy. Eventually, Shin remembers Hee-sun's warning that he might feel hungry when he sees Dam. The next day, Shin texts Dam, asking if they can meet. He misses her terribly. Dam surprises him by showing up unannounced. Seeing her, Shin immediately kisses Dam so deeply that she can hardly breathe. Realizing what he's just done, Shin freezes, stunned by his own action, while Dam stares at him in confusion. Dam tells Shin that he moved too fast, which made her feel nauseous. She excuses herself to go into class, while Shin silently reflects on what just happened, unable to say anything as he watches Dam walk away. After class, Dam goes home and enters her room with a bright smile. She happily touches her lips, realizing she just had her very first kiss. She squeals with excitement and rolls around on her bed. Meanwhile, Shin has a strange dream in his sleep. Walking around campus, he wonders about what happened yesterday, puzzled that he never felt hungry, even when looking at Dam. After class, Shin meets Dam at a cafe for coffee. Seeing couples holding hands, Dam tries to hold Shin's hand, but he avoids her touch.
여기
After the cafe, Shin and Dam go to the game zone to play together. When Dam points at a game and tries to take Shin's hand again, he dodges once more. They play a shooting game, but Dam grows bored and annoyed when she notices the couple beside them playing romantically. After finishing the game, Shin and Dam head toward another one. Dam accidentally stumbles and almost falls. Instinctively, Shin reaches to catch her, but instead, he ends up grabbing her neck. Realizing this, Dam gets angry and upset at him for choking her. That night, Shin tries something he hasn't done in centuries. He samples all kinds of human food he's come to know from being with Dam. To his surprise, every single dish tastes delicious. The next morning on campus, Dam walks while sending a message to Shin, telling him that she simply wasn't used to things before, but is willing to follow the rhythm of the relationship as he wishes. At his office, Shin checks his pocket, sees her message, then suddenly feels dizzy, his vision blurring. Dam keeps checking her phone on the way to class, annoyed that Shin has read her message but hasn't replied. Suddenly, a strong wind sweeps past her, blowing her hair. Turning around, she sees a man she doesn't recognize staring directly at her without blinking. Feeling uneasy at being watched,
근데 이거 제 건지 날 왜 시켜봐?
Dam goes to Shin's office. At first hesitant to knock, she opens the door directly, and is shocked to find Shin slumped unconscious at his desk. She immediately touches his cheek, calling his name repeatedly. Shin slowly regains consciousness. The moment he sees Dam's lips and hands, he suddenly pulls her toward him. Dam, startled, calls out his name again. Realizing what he's done, Shin comes to his senses, guilt washing over him, and asks Dam to leave immediately. Hee-sun enters Shin's office, finding him sitting in frustration. They talk about what's happening to him, and Shin admits he doesn't understand how the bead works anymore, and that he can no longer control himself. As Dam daydreams on the connecting bridge, she is startled by a call from Shin. She looks up to see him on the other side. She wants to rush to him, but Shin asks that they talk over the phone instead. Shin tells her that perhaps they shouldn't meet too often for now. He explains that he can't keep drawing energy from her without endangering her in the future. He asks that they stay apart for a while until he finds a way to control his hunger. At the Humanities Club, the members prepare for the campus festival. Unsure what to host, they decide on a free hug campaign. At first, Seon-woo is chosen, but he refuses. When Dam arrives late, she's chosen instead. Not liking that, Seon-woo volunteers himself, so that Dam won't have to participate. After class, Dam thanks Seon-woo for stepping in. He smiles and reminds her once again that he genuinely likes her. He then asks if she's okay, noting that she looks thinner than before. Hearing that, Dam weighs herself after returning home. Sure enough, her weight has dropped. She has never fallen below 50 kilograms before. She suddenly recalls what happened and Hee-sun's warning to her. While at home with Hee-sun, Shin receives a call from Dam and is stunned when she also suggests that they avoid each other for now. He never expected Dam, usually so bold in defying his limits, to say such a thing. At campus, Shin chats with Suk-young, but notices Dam deliberately taking another path to avoid him. He watches her with sorrow as she walks away. The next morning, Shin goes to the festival to find Dam, but doesn't see her. Instead, he spots the mountain spirit and immediately follows it. Meanwhile, Dam arrives and sees Seon-woo exhausted from the hug campaign.
근데 다음. 네, 감사합니다.
거짓말. 다음에 또 올게요.
죄송합니다. 잠깐만 쉬었다 할게요.
Dam gives him a bottle of coffee, and Seon-woo smiles while looking at it. Soon after, a friend from the economics department arrives and suggests they both get their tarot read. During the tarot reading, the fortune teller declares that Seon-woo and Dam are destined for each other.
직업은 봐달라고 했더니 뭐 사이가
지금 주변에 남자 있죠? 아무예요. 그런 계속 함께
At that moment, Shin disguises himself as Jae-jin using magic and approaches Dam. She tells Jae-jin that she already has a boyfriend, and he's very handsome. Seconds later, she is shocked when Jae-jin transforms into Shin. Shin confesses that he can't stand being apart from Dam. He knows she can endure for another year, but he cannot bear leaving her in danger. Dam pleads for them to stay together as before, promising to eat a lot so she can withstand when he draws energy from her. Shin looks at their joined hands and notices the red thread tied around Dam's pinky, forcing a faint smile. Elsewhere, Jae-jin is roughing up two men, leaving Hee-sun shocked and somewhat unbelieving. He tells her to call him if anything happens and invites her to attend the closing event. Seeing his smile, Hee-sun returns a faint smile of her own. At the closing event, Dam arrives with Jae-jin and Hee-sun. They grill meat and drink soju together. While Dam is eating a piece of beef, Seon-woo comes up beside her. Another student asks if Dam and Seon-woo are dating, but Dam immediately replies that she already has a boyfriend. Seon-woo is shocked, his face turning sour, while Jae-jin keeps pressing to know who her boyfriend is. Frustrated, Seon-woo drinks heavily and stumbles out. As Dam heads out to go home, a drunken Seon-woo calls out, offering to walk her back. He staggers, then crouches down, unable to continue walking. Dam considers leaving, but after a few steps, the red thread on her pinky tightens, compelling her to return to Seon-woo. Dam rushes to him, saying she'll call for a replacement driver. Instead, Seon-woo collapses into her arms, murmuring that he's giving her a free hug. Dam freezes, unable to say a word, while Shin, watching from a distance, stares in silent anger and jealousy.
널 사지도